friends, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to another Sophomore Drome, and this week we've got a little bit of a grungy type one for you. One band from America, one band from the UK. So it's Nirvana against Radiohead. So, band that released first was Nirvana, and their sophomore album is Nevermind, and it was released on the 24th of September 1991, and it was the first Nirvana release on a major label and their first to feature Dave Grohl. So you've got Kurt Cobain on vocals and guitars, Chris Novoselic on bass and vocals, and Dave Grohl on drums and backing vocals. Additional musicians on here: Chad Channing plays cymbals on Polly and drums on the, and Kurt Canyon plays cello. So the first track on here is probably their most popular song, Smells Like Teen Spirit. And I think this is probably Dave Grohl's best ever drumming. He hits them drums so hard. You know, I can't knock this. I thought it was a good record in 1991. It's really stood the test of time. Then we have In Bloom, a really good song. I'm surprised how good this track was. Some great guitar work from Kurt. He was, you couldn't take it away. He was a talent. Then we have another classic, Come As You Are. I love the bass line from Chris on this. It's really good. It's got an interesting tone on the guitar as well. Breed, heavy, very post-punk. It's a fabulous little track. Then we have another classic, Lithium. So many classics on here. Another huge hit, Polly. It's a very little clever track. I like the cymbals, as supplied by Kurt Canning. Yeah, it's a bit different for them. And then the next track is called Territorial Pissings. Yes, a little weird. Not my favourite track on the album, I must admit. It probably is the weakest track. And then we have Drain You. Interesting lyric here. I like Dave's drumming. He hits them, as I said. He's a hard-hitting drummer. Lounge Act. The bass line from Chris is very good. Some nice riffs on there as well. I'll do quite like that. Stay Away. Another stonking bass line. Terrific drumming on that. Super little track, that is. On a Plane, it's a good track, driving riffs. Something in the Way. It's very eerie, it's got a nice ambience to it. I quite like that one. And then we've got this now hidden track called Endless Nameless. No wonder it was hidden, because it's absolutely blooming awful. Okay, this is one of those albums for me that I never really listened to it. I listened to the singles, but when I did the album ranking way back in whenever, I thought it is actually a good album. So that's what I think of it. So what are their critics? Then, yeah, Nevermind, of course, became an unexpected trickle and commercial success. It replaced Michael Jackson's Dangerous as #1 album spot. So many singles off it, very heavily rotated on MTV. The album was voted the best album of the year in Pass and Jobs critics poll, while Smells Like Teen Spirit topped the single of the year and video of the year polls. The album also garnered the band 3 Grammy Award nominations, a total of across the 34th and 35th, including Best Alternative Album. Now, this is when the Grammys were worth something. So, what did the the critics say, well, Chicago Sun-Times gave it 4 stars. Chicago Tribune only gave it 3. Entertainment Weekly gave it an A-. Kerrang gave it a 5 out of 5. Los Angeles Times 3.5 stars. The NME gave it a 9 out of 10. Q gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Rolling Stone 3 out of 5. Select gave it a 4 out of 5. And the Village People A-. How did he do it in the charts? Well, he did quite well. Number 1 on the Australian alternative, the Belgium, the Buenos Aires albums, Canada, Finland, France, Greece, Ireland, Israel, Portuguese, Sweden. 7 in the UK, number 1 on the Billboard. So it has a big thing. The only countries it didn't even get in the top 10 was Hungary and Japan. But when it comes to certification, Diamond in Canada, 13 times Platinum United States, United Kingdom Platinum, it's Platinum and Golds in all around the world. It's unbelievable. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of Nevermind. Swan quality. It's got some really good songs on here. It's got 3 big hit singles, some nice deep cuts, 1 or 2 that weren't up to the par though. So I'm going to give that 4 out of 5. Production. Now, the production could be a little bit better. It's almost perfect, but some of the songs it's not. So again, I'm going to give that 4. Reception. You can only give it one thing, and that's 5 out of 5. It was a huge album and then a very important album. Although I didn't realise it at the time because I wasn't really into it, I realised what an important album it was. It is now. So definitely a 5 out of 5. The cover. Yes. A baby in water. I mean, the guy that he's tried to sue them, and So I'm just going to give that a 3. I don't think it's a very good cover. So for Nevermind by Nirvana gives us a grand total of 16 out of 20. So let's move on to our next contender. And this is Radiohead, featuring Northamptonshire's very own Tom York. He was born in Wellingborough. Their second album is The Bends, and it was released in 1995. So Tom York does guitars and voice, Johnny Greenwood on guitars, Ed O'Brien on guitars, Colin Greenwood the bass, Philip Selway on drums. Additional musicians, Caroline Lavelle on cello and John Matisse on violin and viola. So the first track on this one is called Planet Telex. Now the riffs are really meaty on this. I really like this. This is a super opening track. One of the best on the album. The Bends, I love the guitar on this. Tom's vocal is really good. Solid drumming from Philip. High and Dry. This is one of them very simple songs. I like it when bands keep things simple. It's some nice work on this, especially on the bass. It really is good. Then we got Fake Plastic Trees, probably my favourite track by Radiohead. I love this song. I mean, as I said before, Marillion have done a cover of this, and it's just a lovely song. Bones, another great sort of track. I love the riffs in that. Nice Dream, there's some really intricate guitar work on that. Just, one of the hits off the album. It's a great song. Love the guitar work on it. My Iron Lung, another of those sort of stripped back sounds. Simple guitar, a little bit of percussion, pretty solid track. Bulletproof, I wish I was. Atmospheric acoustic guitars on this. I like the acoustic sound and that little bit of keyboard. Then we have Black Star. Great vocal from Tom on that. Some excellent guitar work. Sulk. Uh, it sort of evolves. It takes a little bit time to get going, even though it's only a 3.5 minute song, or just over. It takes a long time for it to actually get going. And the last track is Street Spirit. Love the guitar and the drumming on this, and nice gentle harmony vocals on that one. Another great album of the 90s. I really like this one. There's no filler, and it's one of my favourite albums from the 1990s. But what did the critics think? Well, the Bends brought Radiohead significant critical attention. The Garden critic Caroline Sullivan wrote that Radiohead had transformed themselves from a nondescript guitar beaters to a potential arena fillers. The grandeur may be eventually pal as it has with U2, but it's been years since a big bumptious rock sounding with this emotion. Q described the Bends as powerful, bruised, majestic. In the NME, Mark Sunderland wrote that Radiohead had clearly resolved to making an album so stunning it would be hard to forget that their song Creep. So let's have a look at what the critics wrote. Chicago Tribune gave it a 1 star, but what do they know about music? Entertainment Weekly gave it a B+. The Guardian gave it 3. Los Angeles Times gave it 3 stars. NME gave it a 9 out of 10. Q gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Rolling Stone 3.5. Select 4 out of 5. Spin gave it a 5 out of 10. The Village People gave it a C. Probably Robert Christgau. How did it do in the charts? We got to number 4 in the UK, 88 in America. America couldn't cope with it. They do find it hard to cope with some of our music, but then some of the stuff they put out is dreadful anyway. Belgium charts, it did all right. It got to number 8. When it comes to certificates, it did go platinum in America. 4 times platinum here, platinum in New Zealand, and 3 times platinum in Canada. So let's have a look at the nuts and bolts for this one. Song quality. Some excellent songs, well written, well put together, so I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Production on this is super. It is well produced. It's flawless production, so I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. Reception did very, very well. Not as well as Nevermind, but still did excellent for them, so I'm going to give that a 4. Cover. I don't like this cover at all. That's the only one thing. I think it could have been a better and more clearer cover. I mean, okay, I get the picture, but it looks very amateurish, so I'm going to give that a 2. So for the Bends, Radiohead gives us a total of 15 out of 20. 1 point between them. Now these albums are both really good. I think on the whole, I think that Nevermind produced 3 very iconic songs from the 90s. Radiohead's most iconic song is Creep, which is not even on this album. So although it's got some good albums, Nevermind really shook the world and the impact it's had on music. So today I'm going to go with Nevermind Nirvana. Okay, the poll will be now open in posts, or the old community page as we like to call it still, and I'll put up a poll of course in the live stream tonight, and then Dave will tell you who wins next week. Okay, coming up next is Pick a Mix, and it is a wander down the sidewalk. I'm going to look at the top 10 for 13th of November 1960 in the USA. So join me for that. Bye for now.